just great.
Really? Oh.
Folk art puppets and their accessories offer a captivating glimpse into global culture expression. They were purchased around 1975 from a quaint antique shop nestled near Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. One of the items bears the signature E.Z. Allen. He's the maker. E.Z. Allen is a talented artist known for his exceptional work in folk art, particularly in the realm of puppetry and puppet accessories. His creations vividly tell cultural stories through intricate craftsmanship. Their expressions are quite potent, some even bordering on unsettling. Their greatness as sculpture and folk art is in the beautifully articulated features and captivating old surface and color. Each element of his productions enhances the storytelling experience. Amongst the array of folk art puppets and accessories, the appraiser valued the item
$10,000 to $15,000 anyway.
Really?
They're just great.
Really? Oh.
The silver articulate model fish is a stunning example of craftsmanship. Each segment of the fish is intricately detailed and connected, allowing for fluid movement that mimics the natural motion of a real fish. The eye of the fish is made from green agate. Also, the scales are meticulously engraved, catching the light with a brilliant shimmer. The fins and tail are finely crafted, adding to the lifelike appearance.
Hence this wonderful, realistic fish movement.
However, this model is not just a decorative piece, but also a testament to the skill and artistry involved in its creation, and its worth.
I would comfortably think a valuation of around about £1,000.
Oh wow, that's a nice amount.
These manuscripts, dating back to the 19th century, hold significant historical value. Our guest's parents acquired this piece in the early 1970s.
When we moved to our home back in the early 70s, bought this. I don't know exactly where they bought it. When my parents got divorced, my father took it.
It comprises a correspondence between the esteemed American hero Abraham Lincoln and the collector of customs, William Brooke Thomas. Lincoln, renowned as the 16th President of the United States, is celebrated for his noble deeds, including the abolition of slavery through the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution, and his leadership during the American Civil War. The letter was penned with the aim of securing a position for one Mr. Van Allen.
So we know he was in D.C., he was looking at his correspondence, he was writing letters. I wish I could tell you whether Mr. Van Allen, who was the subject of this recommendation, got a job. I cannot find anything of Mr. Van Allen.
And was addressed to the Secretary of the Treasury, Salmon Chase. These century-old manuscripts have been impeccably preserved, and given its significance as a document signed by a national hero, its estimated value is approximately
$8,000 to $10,000. So definitely worth getting it conserved so that you can keep it and pass it along to.
This poignant painting by Ernest Croll holds a special place in the hearts of its owner, who grew up in Brooklyn surrounded by the civil rights movement. Acquired from the artist himself, who was a family friend, the painting depicts a young, beautiful child in profile, exuding a sense of movement and mystery. Ernest Croll, known for his focus on civil rights in his artwork, captures a moment in time with this painting.
We sit for each other. So he grew up with that kind of feeling around him in terms of people taking care of each other.
That's right.
The child, adorned in what appears to be her Sunday best.
Static. Here you have some movement captured. It's like a moment in time. She almost seems surprised in a way.
Signed and dated 1955, the painting is seen as a symbol of all children during a difficult time, reflecting the artist's bold approach to addressing the issue of oppression and racism. Despite some minor condition issues, such as scratches, the painting is valued at...
If I was going to put this painting at auction today, I would put a very conservative auction estimate on it of $3,000 to $5,000.
During appraisals, a dirty decanter can be an eyesore, and that's why on today's show, Andy McConnell reveals his trade secret for cleaning dirty decanters. Dirty decanters come in two forms. The first one, which has a white cloudy deposit.
Then don't buy it. Leave it. Buy one that isn't, because decanters are so cheap that you're spoilt for choice.
While the other is from wine pouring on a decanter.
Inside a decanter are these, and they are denture tablets.
Particularly, the stains from wine are removed using a trade secret that's so amusing. The process uses denture tablets to neutralize the stains.
Plop drop them into the decanter, leave them for an hour, and after an hour, you pour it out and neutralize it with water. And the fact is that because these are used on dentures, of course, they're completely safe and neutral.
A fine-looking piece of furniture. That is what this rocking chair is. This chair was made with very strong and stable walnut wood that can take intricate carving. Although we do not know the artist who made this piece, it's evident that they made it in their own style without implementing the styles of woodworking greats.
This artist is not following the path of copying another well-known maker.
This style is shown in the use of light sapwood at the edge. This chair is a fine example of contemporary woodworking craftsmanship and would sell at
$2,500 to $3,500 price range as an auction estimate.
Today's piece is a relic from the Spanish-American War. It's a canteen that had belonged to a soldier from that war. The piece was actually made in Cuba and was crafted by a sergeant called William Satterfield,
who was a sergeant in this Illinois unit.
This piece is a wonderfully crafted item with wonderful designs made on it.
American eagle on this side with the American and Cuban flag, and then crossed arms here, a wall tent. I love the bugle and the tune.
It's even more astonishing as this piece is the first bamboo canteen ever seen on the show. A unique canteen with marvelous design sets on it at auction would be valued at
$1,500 and $2,500.
Wow, we were thinking a couple $100s, so.
Beautiful piece of art is what the guest presented in the form of a jade handle. It was passed down to the guest by her father, who was a collector of weapons. This piece is believed to be a Mughal jeweled white jade handle.
It's Mughal, as opposed to Persian. I believe it's Indian.
Interestingly, it's the sort of thing somebody wealthy would have had in his accessories. The handle is most likely a fly whisk or a parasol handle. Also, the gems around it are foil-backed.
Green foil-back emeralds and white foil-back topaz that have a coloration behind them.
Furthermore, this piece dates from between 1880 and 1900 because there's a mixture between the rubies and the spinels in the piece. Despite the piece's condition issues, it would easily fetch.
I would place this piece in its condition at around $7,000 to $9,000.
Fantastic.
Wow. Go, Grandma. She had beautiful taste.
Go, Grandma.
A piece of sheer elegance is what this jewelry collection is, and it was passed down to the guest by her grandmother. Each piece is meticulously crafted, combining the warm, rich tones of gold with the cool, lustrous finish of platinum.
These were all made in America because they've all got 14 karat, in fact, is inscribed on this bangle.
Right.
The diamonds, expertly cut and set, add dazzling brilliance and fire to its unique feature. However, these precious metals result in stunning pieces that captivate, and at auction would sell.
Collectively, we're looking at about £15,000.
Wow. Go, Grandma. She had beautiful taste.
Go, Grandma.
Francis Summer, a highly talented clockmaker, crafted this amazing item in Charleston in the 1870s. This is an astronomical regulator clock, which the guest, a clock collector, bought for $2,500 after conducting some research. These types of clocks were made to keep precise time and were often unique, one-off creations.
So when this clock was made in the 1870s, it was probably made more as a watchmaker's clock than a railroad timepiece.
Interestingly, this clock is referred to as the gas pump because it resembles one. Due to its accuracy, it became a time standard. Owing to its technical complexity, this type of clock would fetch a high price of
$10,000 to $15,000 with the hope that it would bring more than that.
Music is one of the most loved art forms in the world, and today's piece is a musical instrument. The piece is a banjo, passed down to the guest by his grandfather. A banjo is a stringed instrument with a distinctive twangy sound, and this particular banjo was made circa 1928.
See them very often, but occasionally somebody buys a really nice instrument and they don't play it.
The model of this banjo is a Vega White Lady, named after the famous White Lady tone ring. This banjo is highly prized by musicians and would be valued at
Play it. In a retail market, this banjo would sell between $3,000 and $3,500. Wow.
it comes to preserving cherished memories, the guest's great-great-grandmother's unique approach left behind a legacy of sentimental treasures.
It was put together by my great-great-grandmother. Judging by some of the dates on the coins, they range from 1880 to 1890.
This piece of memory art, crafted during the late 19th century, stands as a testament to her ingenuity and sentimentality. Comprised of items from her lifetime, it holds a miniature carved Bible atop, symbolizing faith and tradition. Descending, one finds an array of marbles and coins from the era, along with valuables like a gold bracelet and even teeth, each item a fragment of her rich life story. Despite its undeniable sentimental value, this piece of memory art remains in impeccable condition, narrating the life of its creator.
Drawers are cleaned out and little pieces of memories are found. They use those pieces to construct a piece of artwork as a memory of that person.
While its sentimental worth is immeasurable, its monetary value is estimated at
between $4,000 and $6,000.
Wow, that's quite a bit.
It is. It is.
3 collections of books were showcased by a guest who is the librarian at the Greenog Press. The quality and aesthetics of these items are truly fascinating. Interestingly, the Greenog Press Company is well known for its meticulous attention to detail, including the use of high-quality paper.
Very, very strong aesthetic sense, and they wanted to raise people's aesthetic awareness. And this is one of the ways in which they tried to do this, to sort of make available these wonderful books.
Observing a page of one of the books, The Preacher, we can see a wood engraving print depicting the scenes of the crucifixion. This piece dates back to 1927, and the book binding was meticulously done. The second featured book is The Fables of Aesop, adorned with an Art Deco binding.
The greatest period was in the 1930s.
Indeed, yes. When we had Agnes Biller Parker,
Agnes Biller Parker, of course,
there,
who comes here.
Yes.
And this is the Book of Aesop.
Yes.
Lastly, we have a book called The Lamentations of Jeremiah. The illustrations are incredibly detailed.
It is lamenting, yes.
Lamenting. Can we turn oh yes, and look at that.
That is really, really lovely.
These incredible illustrations,
yes.
They really are just quite incredible,
they're
aren't they?
Wonderful, yes.
And they're so modern.
Yes.
Almost modern now, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
How much would this set of very detailed and limited edition books fetch at auction?
Our guest's late husband, a graphic artist, treasured this poster, one of the many he collected. The poster, featuring Barnum's famous circus, is particularly interesting due to its local significance and dramatic headline. Our guest explains that Jumbo the elephant was killed in 1885 and
so Barnum had to do something to rescue the circus, and he came up with this story that Jumbo had sacrificed himself and thrown this elephant out of the way of the oncoming train.
The appraiser admires the headline and shares a personal fondness for clown imagery. P.T. Barnum was a master advertiser, and early circus posters are pivotal in the history of American advertising. The poster was printed by the Strobridge Company, renowned for their high-quality lithography in the late 19th century. Although undated, the poster likely dates to the early 1890s, slightly after Jumbo's death. The headline and vibrant illustrations would have drawn crowds to the circus, depicting the elephant's playful antics. Unlike more common circus posters from the 1830s and 1840s, this poster is valued at
$2,000 and $3,000, and it's in very good condition too. The colors are still bright, so it wouldn't surprise me if it would sell closer to the high end of that rather than the low end.
Great, my husband would be very pleased.
This captivating piece of art showcases William Strang's mastery in portraiture and realism. This artwork features a woman lying gracefully on a chase, her body relaxed and natural. Strang's meticulous attention to detail is evident in the delicate rendering of the figure's form and the soft, flowing lines that define her contours. The play of light and shadow enhances the three-dimensional quality, adding depth and realism.
The shade around here is beautifully modulated. You can read her body perfectly.
Clearly, this piece is a beautiful example of Strang's ability to capture the essence of his subjects with sensitivity, and its worth.
No idea what the value is, really. Well, I'm going to put £10,000 to £15,000 on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Like regular dolls, this piece is a great example of enchanting artistry. Each doll features meticulously crafted outfits, ranging from whimsical and vintage styles to contemporary and chic designs.
They were produced in 1972, and I believe that they only ran for 1 year.
Also, these dolls are known for their distinctive oversized heads and large expressive eyes.
I've had this ambivalent relationship with them. I did hate them when I was little and then have grown over the years.
The attention to detail is evident in the unique hairstyles and carefully selected accessories that complete each doll's look with a combined value of...
I would say maybe 5,000 with your case, the other dolls, and these fantastic clothes. And I'm still laughing.
These pieces look like simple cups, but in actual fact, they're mint julep cups passed down to our guest, made by E&D Kinsey Brothers, whose signatures can be seen on the underside of the cup.
Of these, so we know the maker's mark, which is the E&D Kinsey.
The style of the cup's craftsmanship dates to circa 1850, and the cups are thought to have been made in Newport, Kentucky. Looking at this piece, we clearly see that silver was used in crafting it, which adds more style to its simple look. For mint julep cup collectors, these pair are a valuable collection and would be worth...
The pair together at auction, you'd probably be looking in the $1,500 to $2,000 range.
The guest acquired this artifact for approximately $100. It is an Art Deco Compact of French origin, crafted during the early 20th century, showcasing exquisite artistry. The design on the case includes a captivating Chinese motif on the front against a lacquered background. It also features inlaid mother-of-pearl and gold urns meticulously enameled. The interior is crafted from French sterling silver with a delicate gold wash. While certain parts of the artifact have sustained damage, a bit of refurbishment could easily restore its former glory, with its worth evaluated at...
In the $800 to $1,200 range. Oh, great. That's good news. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Presented with a remarkable carved box with a tragic story. This box was a Christmas present from a lady's fiancé, SD.
For 1863.
Yeah, and it's in fact says right there on the front.
Ramsdell, a Civil War sailor who carved the box. It features beautiful inscriptions all over. Kindness on one side, heaven keep the happy on the other, and details about the artist on the bottom.
Actually signed it completed on December 24th, 1863.
This box, made in 1863, is a testament to genuine love, with its heartfelt inscriptions as evidence. At auction, this carved wooden box would have a price value of...
You might expect to see this sell for between $4,000 and $6,000.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe even a little bit more.
Oh, that's amazing.
This guest brought a glass vase to the show. It's a fine-looking Lutz glass vase that has a titania pattern with slick mint green feathering. Done on top of the vase is a silver overlay that goes all the way around from top to bottom. The underside of the vase has colorful shades of cranberry. This vase is still in excellent condition, and with designs on it, would be worth...
Easily sell for about $5,000.
Wow, that's terrific. Thank you.
This guest's father passed down this painting to her, a family heirloom spanning 3 generations.
In their home for about 40 years, and then in the early 80s, my father got it.
And so you always knew this in the family house?
Yes, it's a treasure that they had.
Now it's yours?
Yes.
The British landscape painter Alfred de Briansky, Sr., created this exquisite artwork. He was a great Scottish Victorian artist, best known for his idyllic yet realistic depictions of rural Wales and Scotland. Typical of his work, this piece showcases his great attention to the manifold textures, light, and coloristic qualities of this particular landscape. The authenticity is verified by the inscription on the back of the painting.
The back says the head of Loch Lomond, one of the most important famous lochs in Scotland. Then it says Alfred de Briansky Sr. This is a very typical thing of the Scottish Academy. Almost every Scottish Victorian artist.
The frames on the canvas are original and from the same time as the painting. All these factors combine to give this piece an estimated value of...
about $25,000 to $35,000 at auction.
Really?
Louisiana, to most foreign folks, is known for its rich history of jazz, but little do people know of its political history. This political poster from 1937 takes us back to a pivotal time in Louisiana history.
Carry on the work of Huey P. Long and O.K. Allen after Long died. So I think this was an attempt by the still existing Huey Long supporters to somehow promote and encourage his already laid out campaigns.
This poster was printed in New Orleans, which is one of the bustling places in Louisiana, and it was aimed to organize support for politicians contesting in 1937. It used the pictures of Senators Oscar Allen and Huey Long, who were respected political figures in Louisiana, to garner support. Given this poster is a historical political piece, it would auction at
auction, it sold for $1,200.
Really?
This is a marble top table gifted to the guest by her mother. The table features an Italian top and is known as a specimen top table. It includes marbles, alabasters, and other hard stones. It was made in 1850. This unique piece, likely custom fitted by a wealthy American to showcase its quality, would be valued at.
In a retail environment, I'd expect to see a price of around about $5,000.
Okay, thank you.
Look at this lantern, and you would think that it's Chinese. But in realistic terms, it's one of the works of art of the Japanese.
Area of Japan called Arita, which is a very large porcelain production area with many factories that make porcelain for export to the West.
The lantern was made between 1900 and 1910, and it was made from porcelain, which is a white translucent ceramic.
Blue and white porcelain. And this form is actually a garden lantern.
What's special about this lantern is that it was made in Arita, Japan, and this place is famous for its porcelain production, which is exported to the West. This type of porcelain is famous because it's placed in gardens to beautify them. As a symbol of Japanese creativity, this Japanese porcelain lantern auctions at.
We think that the value at auction would be about $10,000.
$10,000?
Yeah.
Very good.
So it's wonderful.
Outstanding.
Guests presented a baby carriage, which was made in 1870 in New England. Owing to the guest's interest in unusual terms, it was purchased from a farmer in her hometown.
It sits in the corner of my living room.
This piece of furniture was made by a company called Joel Ellis. The company was known to make doll-related pieces. Despite being referred to as a baby's carriage, its decorative painting exudes its rarity. Additionally, the original leather top and tasseling on the carriage indicates its excellent condition and authenticity. This remarkable piece, with its decorative painting and elegant form, would probably bring about.
I would place a value for insurance of $1,500.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Received a special piece of art glass, but know little about it besides the giver's mention of its uniqueness. This Durand art glass vase from 1928 is a renowned piece of American art glass, noted for its quality and artistry. Victor Durand vases epitomize Art Deco opulence with vibrant colors, iridescent finishes, and intricate patterns. His son, Victor Durand Jr., founded Durand Art Glass in 1924, producing pieces like this until 1931. The design is a leaf and vine, sometimes called a heart and vine. Durand vases often had opalescent and iridescent finishes from metallic salts in glassmaking. These finishes gave the vases a distinctive shimmer, enhancing their appeal. There's a signature present that reads Durand. Exuding timeless elegance and artistry, the appraiser values the item.
A piece like this today in a retail shop could sell for around $1,000.
To any common person, these signs might be the usual wooden signs. But to movie memorabilia lovers, these signs are no usual signs. This is because they were crafted and used in the 1994 movie Forrest Gump.
Given to him and his dad after the movie was completed.
And these prop signs are even worth more because they bear the name of one of the main characters of the movie, Jenny. These prop signs are also rare because, as earlier said, to the common folk, they wouldn't be such a spectacular piece. As they are movie memorabilia, these signs today would be worth the auction value of
Value between $3,000 and $5,000 at auction.
The guest discovered these beautiful silver spoons buried in a drawer at her mother's house. Her mother gave them to her after she expressed how beautiful they were. The guest's grandmother purchased them at an estate sale in the early 1950s. These silver spoons, a pair of servers, a large server spoon, and a smaller spoon are all made by the company of George Jensen, a famous Danish silversmith and jeweler. The spoons feature the renowned blossom pattern, designed by Jensen in 1919. The pieces date back to the first half of the 1920s, adding to their value. If these items were to go to auction today, they could be worth
$800 and maybe as much as $1,200 for the 4 pieces. Really nice.
Thank you.
When you think of Scotland in sport, it's quite unusual to think of baseball. This guest presented a baseball hat, a ball, and a picture of his dad alighting from a plane on his way to a live game.
I spent about 7-8 days with the Brooklyn Dodgers at the time. He got to throw one of the first balls of the season.
The ball features different signatures on it from the Brooklyn Dodgers.
And this ball, signed presumably in 1952, you've got all of the signatures of the players and what looks like some of the owners.
However, due to the story attached to this piece of baseball history, at auction it would fetch,
I think, easily £4,000 to £6,000.
Wow.
Enchanting painting embodies the strokes of nostalgia. It was inherited by this guest from her cousin. The painting is one of the works of the exceptional artist William Mason Brown. W.M. Brown was an American artist well known for his beautiful paintings depicting nature.
I'll tell you a little bit about William Mason Brown. Okay. He was born in upstate New York in 1828.
Featured in the painting is a scenery with trees, a cottage, cows, water, and a beautiful backdrop of a detailed sky. Brown's signature is also visible at the bottom right-hand corner of the piece. The painting is dated circa 1850 to 1869, and it's titled The Old Homestead. At auction, this remarkably preserved painting with its provenance would fetch a considerable value of,
and for auction, I would estimate it between $30,000 and $50,000.
Oh my goodness.
An absolutely stunning piece is what we're presented with today. The piece is a decorative jug called a ewer that was made by the Rockwood Company. The ewer has a silver overlay and is quite unique, as not many pieces are of its size. The craftsmanship of this piece is so well done that the silver overlay doesn't cover the artwork done on the ewer, but instead showcases it.
Overlay pieces, the solvent gets in the crazing and causes a spider webbing effect. Because this isn't crazed, it has none of that. So it's a.
But the most important aspect of this piece is that there's no crazing done on it,
which is important for several reasons. It makes the work crisper, but also over the years when people clean silver overlay pieces.
Just a look at this silver inlaid ewer is enough to make anyone love it, and as such, it would sell for
$1,000 to at auction, so say maybe $4,000 to $5,000 at auction.
That's a delightful number.
This pencil portrait was showcased by a guest depicting the guest's mother-in-law, whose grandfather was the former mayor of Salt Lake City. The mayor was a very close friend of the artist behind the portrait, Mayoni Young. Young, an American social realist sculptor and artist, is renowned for his work.
Who is primarily thought of as a sculptor is Mahanri McIntosh Young.
Included in the portrait is a personal note from Young to the guest's mother-in-law, along with his signature and the visible date. Additionally, there's a photograph featuring the mayor of Salt Lake City and Mayonri Young. The works of Mayonri Young are highly sought after in the market, and given its terrific condition, this piece would auction for
around $1,200.
Wow. Okay.
He was 7 years old. He received this toy as a gift. A 1930 rambling Mickey Mouse toy from Japan is a charming early Disney collectible. Walt Disney patented Mickey toys in Germany in 1928 and in Japan in 1930. The worth of this toy is 69 cents. The toy showcased Mickey in various poses and activities with a wind-up or pull-along mechanism. The toys were commonly made of tin plate, a popular material for toy manufacturing at the time. Their historical significance, craftsmanship, and nostalgia make them a prized collector's item. A well-preserved toy, particularly with its original box, can be valuable to collectors today. The appraiser valued the item highly, recognizing its pristine condition.
Which is very important to the value, and it was to be sold at auction would go for $6,000 to $8,000.
$6,000 to $8,000.
$6,000 to $8,000.
That's unbelievable.
Looking at the furniture presented today, you would think it was only made yesterday. The piece, a Philadelphia highboy, was actually crafted circa 1765. As a Philadelphia crafted piece, it has typical features of Philadelphia-made furniture.
1966, so probably made for Mrs. Taylor. And it may have been possibly a wedding dowry gift. And it has classic black walnut, which you see in the drawer fronts,
which runs into the foot of the highboy. The drawers of this highboy were made with yellow pine, also typical of furniture made in Philadelphia.
I have here yellow pine, which is typical of this Philadelphia region. And yellow pine was used throughout the Middle Atlantic states.
And showed the level of craftsmanship the craftsman must have had to make this piece. This piece is really a rare example of a Philadelphia highboy, still with its original brass, and as such, it would be worth.
Estimating this for auction, I would put $40,000 to $60,000 on it.
Wow.
It's really
I have here a diamond and platinum bracelet that this guest inherited from her mother-in-law. This exquisite piece features a series of geometric patterns, characteristic of the Art Deco style, intricately crafted in platinum.
A caprice. It's not an investment. It's simply part of the most astonishing arrangements. Really the last gasp of luxury at that level, really. We never saw it again after the Second World War.
Adorned with brilliant cut diamonds, the bracelet sparkles with each stone meticulously set to maximize its brilliance.
And that implies that it's made between 1927 and the early 1930s.
The combination of sharp lines and intricate details makes it a true masterpiece of design that will sell for.
You would have to pay £150,000.
Oh my God!
This piece of furniture is sure to capture the hearts of antique furniture lovers. This piece, a New England chest, was made circa 1800 and is the last form of an older six-board chest.
And the great thing about this one is the paint. Back then, they would use pine or poplar or some other type of unadorned wood, construct the piece.
Something quite unique about this furniture is the paint, which is very exuberant and was done to brighten up houses in the 19th century. The painting work even includes the brass pulls of the chest, done to add more finesse to it.
Thing probably was just a smorgasbord for the eyes when they picked it up new and put it in the house.
Okay.
Looking at the foot, we can see that minor alterations have been done on them, as originally they would have been longer. This chest serves as a remainder of the great craftsmanship of the 19th century woodworkers and should be valued at.
We feel real comfortable with that. Retail on this would be about $2,500.
Oh, okay. That's wonderful.
This impressive map of New York holds a fascinating history. Acquired at an estate sale in Charlotte, North Carolina, it was purchased for $50.
Anything else would fill a big space on my wall.
Do you want to say what you paid for it or
Sure.
not?
I thought it was reasonable at $50.
This map is actually two maps in one. The upper left corner features a channel map or survey of the Port of New York.
Professor, who was hired by the British military. He was an engineer, but he made great maps.
Created by John Mestresser, a British military engineer, the map was surveyed in the winter of 1775, just before the British drove the Americans out of New York City in 1776. The main map details all of Manhattan, including key landmarks like churches and streets, with Broadway notably depicted as the broadest street. The map's design, with separations between sections, suggest it was meant to be folded and carried in a saddlebag for military use, providing advance intelligence. At auctions, similar maps have been valued at.
I would evaluate this map at about $35,000 to $45,000.
Wow.
The peach blow vase is a rare example of 19th century American glassmaking.
It's a famous vase sold by a member of the Morgan family, Mary Morgan, who sold it at auction in Baltimore in 1886.
It's made of a kind of glass called amberina. This vase features a delicate gradient, transitioning from a soft, creamy yellow at the base to a rich, warm peach pink at the top. The smooth, glossy finish enhances its elegant form, characterized by a round body that narrows gracefully towards the neck.
Of the famous Morgan vase.
I see.
And this one was made, as almost all of them were, in Wheeling in West Virginia.
This vase is prized for its unique soft hue that epitomizes the peach blow glass technique and is worth
Today, at auction, one in this state would certainly be worth at least $2,000.
Really?
Perhaps as much as $2,200 or $2,500.
The flower painting presented today was brought by our guest. It was painted by an artist called Marie Siebold Molinari. Molinari was an American painter known for her still life and landscape paintings.
She knew at a young age that she would want to be an artist. Her father was an art gallery owner.
This painting is of a flower, and it depicts Molinari's observation of light and shadow.
This one was included in an exhibition in the Museum of Fine Arts in Houston.
It is an oil-on-canvas painting, with the canvas mounted to stabilize the painting. Taking into account this piece's mix of color, light, and form, it would be worth.
It might be worth $15,000 to $20,000.
Wow, that's great. Praise the Lord. I love it.
Looking like something from medieval Egypt, this piece acquired by the guest is actually French-made. It's a letterbox made by a French metalsmith called Alfred Doggett.
This is very unusual. It's a French piece from the turn of the century.
As with most of Doggett's other known works, this piece is enriched with colorful cabochons. The lid of this box is made of copper, set in with actual glass.
Colored pieces of glass. It's not turquoise, and this is not mother of pearl, but this is actually glass.
The rarity of Doggett's work, of which this box is a part, makes it highly collectible and would be auctioned at.
At auction, this piece I think would bring in the range of $3,000 to $5,000.
Is that right?
Right.
You're kidding.
That's right.
Our guest's stepfather brought this item home from Japan after World War II. The item is a small, beautifully worked piece. It's from the Mihai period, dating from 1868 to 1912. It was produced by the Miao factory, known for creating the best mixed metal work of that era. At auction, this piece would carry a pre-sale estimate of
$2,000 to $3,000.
That's great.
Yeah.
This appraisal emphasizes the exquisite craftsmanship and historical significance of Mihai period art.
Today's episode, we have a pipe tomahawk, which the guest purchased for $33. This piece features a dual symbol, a tomahawk representing war and a pipe symbolizing peace.
Dual symbol. The tomahawk's a sign of war, and the pipe is a sign of peace. And it works as a pipe.
Interestingly, it's decorated with brass tacks, adding to its charm.
Southern U.S. carried these as signs of authority. The stem on it, or the haft, is ash.
Dating back to the 1870s, this unique piece, with its dual symbolism, will sell for
1870, 1875, and they go for between $8,000 and $12,000 in an auction situation.
Out, religious antique lovers, because this is not your usual Bible. In fact, it's called a salesman dummy Bible, and it was used by salesmen to showcase different designs for family Bibles. This particular one features various leather spines a customer would get. The Bible was created in the 19th century and has spent a good time maintaining its quality. As a piece of vintage marketing, this salesman dummy Bible auctions at
Edition. This I would probably say $250 to $350.
Oh, okay.
Show is a cherished piece of baseball history. This piece is a game bat, Roberto Clemente, a professional baseball player. The game bat is made of high-quality ash wood and bears the mark of use from one of the sport's greatest players.
The moment on it and said that we should probably take a look at it and see what the bat was worth.
The barrel features slight wear, testifying to its time on the field. Also, it features a classic design with a smooth, polished finish, and at auction, it would sell for.
If I were you, I would insure the bat for $25,000, and that would cover the value, or replacement value.
The guest grandfather was a clock collector for 35 years and passed this piece on to him. This is a wall model Acorn Clock made by the J.C. Company in the 1840s and 50s. The displayed piece is the rarest and latest model ever made.
Acorn clocks were the earlier ones, and they look quite different. When I first saw one of these acorn clocks as a young collector, I said, that is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It features an original laminated veneer on the door and retains an original J.C. Brown label. The clock also has a reverse painting, with some restoration done to the body.
Is the label. It's got the original J.C. Brown label, who worked in Bristol, Connecticut, only about a half an hour's drive.
This rare clock, still in good condition with its original label, would sell for...
Well, it's very rare. Its condition is good. It's about $13,000 when you consider it's greatly unrealized and undiscovered American antique.
The piece presented today is from World War II. It's nose art, famously done by Allied soldiers. Nose art refers to the decorative paintings or designs often found on the noses or fuselages of military aircraft. And these nose arts were done on a B-17 plane, which was a prominent heavy bomber used by the Allies during World War II. A section like this of this nose art at retail would fetch...
A section like this, retail, would easily be $10,000.
Here is a walnut desk crafted by Adolf Kempen. This desk features intricate carvings, showcasing Kempen's exceptional skill.
It combines several styles that were used during the Victorian era. You have the Rococo Revival legs, which are these cabriole legs with acanthus carved knees.
Surface smooth and polished, which highlights the wood's natural grain. This desk offers practical functionality with multiple drawers and compartments, each fitted with precision joinery.
And open the drawer, and you can see here where the over 100 years of fingernails scraped on the bottom of this pine drawer bottom.
In today's market, this piece of fine woodworking and design from a bygone era will sell for...
No, I think the range of auction estimate I'd put on this is about, in fact, $8,000 to $12,000.
Presented with the sailor-made doll that the guest inherited from her grandmother. A tag on this piece provides its details.
By a sailor.
It's an interesting piece to us. We love it as folk art.
Folk art item is considered one of the best carvings of all times. It features a spare quality and dry paints, along with uniquely styled hair. Despite its old age, this 19th century sailor-made doll is still in good condition. This uniquely painted piece of folk art would sell for...
And it would be worth probably $8,000 to $12,000.
Oh my God.
The guest brought some posters to the show. The posters are from the 1940 movie called Black Friday and are called lobby cards. As the name suggests, these cards were meant to be put in the lobbies of theaters. There is also the title card, which has the portrait of the two stars of the movie.
The two stars, and that's the most important thing about these, that it's Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi.
A look at the border of these cards, which is finely done, would make one think they're 21st century produced cards. These cards from one of the most acclaimed horror movies of the 20th century are worth...
Expensive one of the set. This card alone would probably be anywhere between $2,500 and $3,000 at auction. So you did well on $1.
Yes! Guest presented a Jean Arnauld oil painting that she purchased at a yard sale. The painting shows a brother feeding a baby. It's a great example of Jean's work, featuring scenes from everyday life.
Anything about the artist, or you know anything about the artist now?
No, I don't.
And over the last several years, you've never found anything out about the artist?
All.
Also, this painting features harmonious composition with a rich color palette, where vibrant hues and subtle tones blend seamlessly.
The green, you can see all of the detail. And also nice is this doll that the little baby has been playing with. It's just overall a really nice picture.
This captivating piece reveals a story and mood conveyed through Jean's expressive style, and it's worth...
If it were to come to auction now in the international market, I think we'd see a price close to around $10,000.
Oh.
Presented with a Cartier wristwatch that embodies elegance and luxury. It was brought onto the show by this guest, and she acquired it from her mother.
And my grandmother purchased it in Baltimore between 1950 and 1960.
Upon observing the watch's case, we can see the maker's mark Cartier Paris. The watch's dial features a crown and hands. At the back of the dial, we can see the watch mechanism. However, some minor repairs done on the piece had altered the normal mechanism, and the watch had been redone.
A case.
Right.
This is what you see inside when you have the movement out. It is signed Cartier Paris.
The guest presented two dials, one of which happened to be original, while the other is not authentic.
We see a dial with the crown,
yes,
and the hands, and it's clearly signed Cartier.
Adorning the watch is a platinum frame, diamonds, and seed pearls. Dating back to the circa 1920s, the watch also has a rose gold deployment buckle. Although slightly damaged, an exquisitely crafted watch like this one, with its rich history, would fetch an auction value of...
Today, if this came up to auction, it would be $50,000 to $70,000.
Would it really?
It really would.
I can't believe it. My mom's going to be thrilled.
A piece of automobile artistry in the form of a Rolls-Royce Ecstasy bronze. It was designed in 1911 by an English sculptor, Charles Robinson Sykes. This elegant sculpture features a woman leaning forward with her arms swept back and her robes billowing like wings, conveying a sense of motion and grace. The casting has a rich, warm patina that accentuates the intricate details and...
is that there are a tremendous number of facsimiles around, not just of bronze, which this is, and you can hear it.
Smooth curves of the figure. However, this iconic mascot adorns Rolls-Royce vehicles, embodying the artistic excellence for which the brand is renowned, and it will sell for...
Then the likelihood is it's £8,000 to £10,000.
Wow.
This is a French Art Deco diamond ring. The guest bought it at an auction, believing it to be a cubic zirconia set in silver. This piece is somewhat confusing at first glance, appearing as a small, single, multifaceted stone. But closer inspection reveals a central stone surrounded by small trapezoidal stones set in a step fashion.
And the ring was made roughly around 1925. There's no maker's mark in the ring, but it's a very good jeweler, probably in New York City.
The interplay is unusual, with multiple stones giving the appearance of a single stone. This beautiful piece, tested to be a genuine diamond and not cubic zirconia, exemplifies the style of rings from the early 1920s and 1930s.
Firmer quality. The small ones are a little better than the center one. The center one has a tiny bit of white in it, which is very, very small. But
a shiny diamond ring with quality stones like this would conservatively sell for...
magnificent. Your bracelet is worth $165,000.
Oh, I never thought it would be that much.
One of the most famous toys of all time is the Barbie doll. The doll debuted for the first time in 1959 and since then became a global toy brand. Today's item is an American version of the Barbie doll. This particular type was made in the year 1965 and 1966. One of the distinct features of this doll is the golden outfit, which was why the outfit is called the Golden Glamour. Given its history, this 20th century Barbie doll today would auction at
$600 to $700 in this condition. Really a fabulous find for only $1.
No.
Yes.
Really?
You have a great collecting
really?
eye.
Seriously.
A rushed garage sale proved to be a stroke of luck for this guest, who stumbled upon these etchings and drawings amidst a pile of seemingly worthless manuscripts.
An auction house which was going out of business in Baltimore, I'm thinking 10 years ago, but it was a while ago.
Okay.
And they had brought all this stuff out of their attic and out of their basement, and it was just piles of things.
Zhao Wu-Kis is the artist responsible for these brilliant pieces. Zhao was a Chinese-French painter and a member of the Académie des Beaux-Arts in Paris. Two of these pieces are etchings, while the third is a drawing. These pieces are very representational, which depicts an early period in his career, unlike later when he moved to much more purely abstract pieces. Dating back to the 1950s, these rare pieces of art from this renowned artist are valued at
$20,000 to $25,000.
No.
Yes.
Really?
You have a great collecting
really?
eye.
Seriously.
A fine-looking musical instrument in the form of this violin is brought to the show today. The violin is a Pierre and Hippolyte Silvestre violin, which was made in Lyon in 1834. For a violin that old, most of its surface is still in perfect condition.
Copy of one of the great violin makers' works, Guarneri del Gesù of Cremona.
And it's actually a copy of one of the great violin makers' works, which is evident in the F-holes that lack a fluid look. This violin is highly sought after by violinists and would be worth...
I would place its value somewhere around $20,000 to $25,000.
Full of triumph, this gleaming trophy is showcased before us by this guest, who found it while working on a demolition site in 1972.
That anything in the building you want, you can have, because this building's going to be down at 5 o'clock in the morning.
The trophy was handed out to recipients by the American Humane Association. Surprisingly, in the 1950s, the association began awarding trophies like this to animals. At the base of the trophy, names of the recipients and the year they were awarded are visible. However, the association stopped giving out these awards years later and handed the trophies to the Golden Globes in the 1970s.
At that time, it was part of the Foreign Press Association, which it still is, but they were given out for a number of years and called the Patsies.
It's very rare to come across a trophy like this because they were made for a short period of time and a long time ago. This one-of-a-kind trophy is in such good condition, and it's estimated to be worth.
The auction estimate would be somewhere between $800 and $1,200.
I have here today a musical instrument called the English Concertina, which was brought to the show by this esteemed guest. This piece is octagonal in shape and was crafted by a firm owned by Charles Wheatstone, a renowned English scientist and inventor responsible for many scientific breakthroughs of the Victorian era.
That's done with little jeweler's saws. It's all hand done. Oh. The more expensive the instrument, the more fretwork you got. And this is not the most expensive model. They made first mahogany ends, then rosewood ends. This is ebony ends.
The item features 6 folded leather bellows with ebony insand and was produced in the 1950s. The English concertina's keys are arranged similarly to those of a piano. At one end of the instrument, there is a meticulously handcrafted lattice design. The concertina is in pristine condition and holds significant importance in English music history. It is estimated to be worth
$1,500 or $1,600 or $1,700.
Really?
More than you thought?
Way more, by $1,500 more.
I had no idea it'd be that much.
Yes, without hesitation.
Our guest inherited this item from her aunt, who willed it to her to prevent her brothers from fighting over it. The item is a German sterling silver standing knight. Its unusual size is notable, standing almost 18 inches high, compared to the typical 6 to 8 inches. The knight features a beautifully carved ivory face with a handlebar mustache. The quality and detail of the silverwork are exceptional. In a well-advertised auction, this piece is estimated to be valued at
$12,000 and $15,000.
I had no idea it'd be that much.
Yes, without hesitation.
This appraisal highlights the extraordinary craftsmanship and rarity of the German sterling silver standing knight. Today's piece is a print that was made about a certain famous British explorer of the 1700s, and is a print of the death of the aforementioned famous British explorer, James Cook. Cook was a British cartographer and naval officer famous for his 3 voyages between 1768 and 1779 in the Pacific Ocean. And this print was done by a British artist who accompanied Cook on his 3rd Pacific expedition, John Webber. This print is a scene of Cook's death, which happened in Hawaii while a brawl occurred over issues with boats.
He himself published this print. This is his own separately issued print.
This print is actually very rare, and as such would be worth
$6,500 to $7,000 on it.
We have an incredible depiction of Chinese trade with the West. The guest's great-grandfather served on the Portsmouth in 1856, where he acquired these pieces and passed them down.
1856.
Okay.
He served 38 years in the Navy.
And he was in Asia and the China trade, basically.
Among these paintings is a depiction of the Pearl River outside Canton and the abandoned Dutch folly forts used in the 17th century to maintain the Dutch trade monopoly. We also have a depiction of the Whampoa Reach, showing ships with American flags. Additionally, there is the depiction of the city of Macau, a colony of the Portuguese who were among the first traders in Asia, with European-like architecture. Lastly, there is a depiction of the city of Hong Kong, with the United States flag on a hill. These original paintings date back to the mid-19th century, and although in poor condition, are expected to sell at auction for about
The whole group would bring between $12,000 and $18,000.
Jeez.
This is a venison dish, dating back to 1819. This piece was crafted by Benjamin Smith of London, a highly gifted silversmith of the 18th century. The base and cover of the dish are made from Sheffield plate, and it features a silver handle. This beautiful silver dish with a Sheffield plate cover would have a price value of
$4,000 and $6,000 for something this impressive. So you made quite a...
Today's piece was purchased by our guest at a thrift store. It's an exceptional vase made by the Roseville Pottery Company. The Roseville Pottery Company was an American art pottery manufacturer in the 19th and 20th centuries. This piece was never put into production by the company, and it features geranium patterns with vibrant colors and intricate floral designs. These designs were hand-decorated. Another unique aspect of this experimental piece is its various colorations.
On the pieces that are actually produced, they may only use the brown color, or they may use the blue color as a background, but they'll be consistent on both sides. This one, because it's a trial piece, I guess they wanted to show both variations of it.
This vase, with its exquisite craftsmanship, intricate floral design, rarity, and excellent condition, would make it worth.
At auction today, it's worth about $2,000 at auction. Okay?
Oh, that's terrific.
Presented on the show is a will belonging to Ben Milam, who was an American colonist of Mexican Texas and a military leader. He was regarded as the hero of the Texas Revolution. The will, dated November 8, 1834, was written just a year before his death. In the will, he divides his possessions and makes philosophical statements about life and death.
There's also some writing on the back that is referring to the document in front.
Milam's involvement in the Texas Revolution adds immense historical weight to this document. He was a pivotal figure, known for his bravery and leadership.
Prior to his death, he managed to rally a good number of fighters.
The rarity of Ben Milam's autograph adds to the document's value and historical importance with a price tag of...
I would probably estimate this item at about $30,000 to $50,000.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
The guest brought an exceptional ticker tape to the show, inherited from her grandfather, who was a broker. This ticker tape was made by Thomas Edison, an American inventor and businessman.
This was really Edison's very first commercial success in making a machine.
It was produced between 1900 and 1920. This ticker machine is the second model Edison produced, known for its distinctive tick sound it makes while operating.
It's because of the ticker, ticker, ticker sound that the tape made when it came out.
Interestingly, the item displayed comes with a pedestal, which is unusual for tickers being auctioned. This brilliant innovation with its stand would bring
$15,000 and $20,000.
Oh my Lord, that's crazy. I can't even believe it. That's crazy, but it's priceless to me. Just reminds me of my grandpa.
Before baseball and other card collections became popular, tobacco cards served as stiffeners in tobacco packs. This guest's father inherited these cards from his mother.
Grandmother died. My father was cleaning out his bedroom, and in his closet in his bedroom, he found the box with some other assorted things. When he opened up the box, he saw all of these cards in there.
Presenting an impressive collection featuring the most beautiful color lithography. Among the over 50 cards, notable ones include the Allen and Gintner cards, the first tobacco-era baseball cards.
So we have Tim Keefe, we have John Montgomery Ward, we have Charles Comiskey, who Comiskey Park is named after.
You recognize that name.
And Adrian Cap Anson.
And the old Judge cards, the first to use a photographic image.
Three of your best ones in this collection, including Hugh Duffy, who's a Hall of Famer, Jim Murtry, manager of the New York Giants, and Buck Ewing.
This collection, preserved in excellent condition in the presented box for over a century, holds significant collective worth, estimated at
$12,000 to $15,000. Okay?
Painting of natural subjects can be among the most wonderful things. The guest inherited this piece from her grandmother.
And I always told her how much I loved it, and she promised me I could have it. And so when she passed away, it became mine, and it now hangs in my living room.
This oil painting on canvas was created by Mary Elizabeth Price. She was an American Impressionist painter, best known for her floral-style paintings, which often use gold and silver leaf. The guest's grandmother was a student of the artist, which is likely how she acquired the piece.
My grandmother was a student of hers, and she actually took painting lessons from Mary Elizabeth Price. And so wonderful. I don't know how my grandmother came to acquire this. I don't know if it was a gift or if she purchased it.
This original painting of a white mallow flower, typical of Price's style, making this painting to be valued at
about $40,000 to $60,000. Really? Really? Oh my God.
For untrained eyes, this rug might look just like any other rug, but in actual fact, it's a Chinese silk rug. The number of knots per square inch on this rug is roughly 500, and the rug was woven circa 1980. Although this rug is Chinese-made, the designs on it are Iranian-inspired, and as such, it was woven in the Qum style, which is a certain type of Persian rug. This rug was meticulously handcrafted and is good size for a rug. A rug of this quality, made by hand with the knots per square inch it has, at retail, would sell for
$17,500 in the retail shop.
Okay.
All right, so thank you so much for bringing it in.
Thank you.